He was the boy nobody believed in. Thin, awkward, quiet, and painfully average. In school, his teachers looked at him with disappointment. In the neighborhood, kids made fun of his appearance. In exams, he rarely passed. And in life, he seemed to fail at almost everything he touched. This boy was Jack Ma, a name the world would one day shout with pride, but at that time, he was simply the child everyone underestimated. He wasn't talented, he wasn't strong, he wasn't successful, and life never gave him anything easily. But he had one quality that made all the difference. He refused to quit. And that refusal would one day make him one of the most influential entrepreneurs in history. Jack grew up in a modest family in Hangzhou, China, during a time when the country was far from the modern giant it is today. His parents performed traditional music for a living. Money was always tight, opportunities were rare, and the world outside China was hidden behind political walls. But even in such a closed environment, Jack felt a deep curiosity about the world beyond his city. While other kids played games and chased each other, Jack would stare at old English magazines he found thrown away near hotels. He didn't understand the words, but he loved the shapes of the letters and the rhythm of the language. Every morning, before sunrise, he would ride his old bicycle for nearly an hour to the nearest hotel that hosted foreign tourists. He didn't go there to earn money. He went there to learn English for free. He offered tourist city tours, not as a job, but as a trade. You teach me English, I'll show you around. Imagine a skinny little boy, pedaling through cold mornings, speaking broken English but shining with genuine excitement. For 9 full years, he repeated that ritual every morning. He wasn't paid for it, he wasn't rewarded for it, but he was preparing his mindset for a future even he couldn't imagine. Despite little wins, failures followed him like shadows. In SCH, when Jack Ma finished speaking, the room fell into a deep silence. The friends who had gathered in his small apartment stared at him with uncertainty. They understood his passion, but they could not see the future he was imagining. To them, the internet was a strange concept, something far away from the daily life of China. But Jack sensed something else behind their silence: fear. Fear of failure. Fear of investing time in something unclear. Fear of risking stability for a dream. Jack, however, had lived with failure so long that fear did not scare him anymore. He looked at each person and said with calm determination, "If we don't move now, someone else will. The world will not wait for China. We must try, even if no one understands us today." Those words didn't make everyone believe instantly, but they created a spark. A few friends stayed, not because they understood the business, but because they believed in the man standing before them. Jack had a way of turning doubt into curiosity and fear into courage. That itself was enough for the beginning. The apartment became their first office. It was small, cramped, and had old furniture with peeling paint. The computer took minutes just to load a page. But Jack considered it a treasure. Every sound the machine made felt like a heartbeat of a newborn vision. The team sat on mismatched chairs, working with limited knowledge and almost no tools, but they were driven by the belief that they were creating something the world had not fully imagined yet. Each morning, Jack gathered the team and spoke to them for a few minutes. He didn't quote famous people or give dramatic speeches. Instead, he shared lessons from his own past, simple truths built from rejection. He reminded them that he had failed in exams, failed in jobs, failed in interviews, failed in almost everything society valued. But he always stood up again. "As long as we don't quit," he said, "the world cannot defeat us." The team began to trust his voice and mo. Jack Ma stood in the middle of Alibaba's bustling new office, watching his team move with confidence. Years ago, they were unsure, inexperienced, and afraid of failing. Now, they were leaders of a revolution. But Jack knew success was not a destination. It was a responsibility. The world had begun paying attention, and expectations were higher than ever. Alibaba had defeated eBay in China, but Jack wasn't interested in celebrating victories from the past. He was focused on something bigger. He wanted to reshape the future of global commerce. While most companies were busy maximizing profits, Jack was busy imagining what the world would look like 10 years ahead. His mind operated like a telescope. He always looked far beyond the horizon. The early 2000s brought rapid changes. China's economy was growing at unprecedented speed. Millions of new internet users joined every month. Small businesses, which had once been ignored, now saw Alibaba as their gateway to the world. Success stories poured in daily. Farmers selling produce online, craftsmen reaching customers far outside their villages, shop owners expanding their businesses beyond imagination. Jack listened to these stories with pride, not because they made Alibaba look good, but because they prove his original belief: small businesses could change the world. However, with growth came new pressure. The workload intensified. Competitors emerged. Global companies watched Alibaba closely, trying to figure out how a once laughable startup had become one of the most influential platforms on the planet. Jack didn't fear competition, he feared stagnation. He often told the team, "The moment we become proud, we stop growing." Pride is the most dangerous virus in business. To ensure Alibaba stayed ahead, Jack traveled constantly. He met governments, entrepreneurs, investors, and students. He listened more than he spoke. He believed leadership wasn't about giving orders, it was about understanding people. His conversation